And we are live. So, Ash, welcome. Thank you for joining
Thank
me.
you.
You released a
Thank you.
book today,
You
I
right,
hear.
Steve? Sorry?
I am. You released a book today, from what I hear.
Yeah, I'm doing it at about 12 o'clock UK time, so probably straight after this live stream, actually.
Amazing. You're a little bit crackly, but hopefully that's not too bad for people listening. It might just be me. I might need a new headset.
If it does get worse, I'll sort it out.
Yeah, it seems every time you talk, it crackles a little bit. Maybe, is it your microphone, maybe?
Am I still crackling now?
Yeah. It's like a robot's having its way with your microphone every time you talk.
Do you want me to try with my earbuds instead?
Yeah, we'll try that one. These things happen.
Yeah, let's see what happens.
In the meantime, let's talk about APIs, like consuming APIs in Laravel. Like, it's a topic I love. I've loved. Hello, hello, joining people. Yeah, so I've been working with APIs for God knows how many years. I've written about consuming APIs. Tell me, what made you write the book, Ash?
Good question, actually. I think it's just, first of all, can I say, am I a bit clearer now?
Much better for me.
Sweet, nice one. I think I always enjoy writing anyway. It's just something that I kind of get a kick out of people like messaging me afterwards and saying, "Oh, I really enjoyed your work," or "It's helped me get a job," or stuff like that. And I kind of thought APIs are something that no matter what you're working on, you're always going to run into an API at some point as a web developer. So I thought it's kind of a pain point that a lot of people are probably coming across, and there's not really a lot of standardization, and there's also a heck of a lot of outdated like documentation references online, because as things are getting older, you're getting more and more documentation. But it's the concepts are still right, but it's not quite on point for what you need anymore. So I just thought I'm going to add to that pile, and I'm going to make something else that hopefully will stay up to date for a few years. So yeah.
Wow, it came out well. I've obviously read a little bit of the book. There's some really, really like advanced topics in there that you've spent a lot of time researching. You can tell you've really dived into the weeds there to go through and really understand it to be able to explain it. And one in particular that I enjoyed was your OAuth part. That's just OAuth is hard. There's no other way to put it. It is hard, and it's hard for a reason. But when you're integrating with an API or consuming an API, you always hope it's not OAuth.
Yeah.
You get sent the docs and it's like, I really hope they're not using OAuth. I hope they're just going to give me a token and let me be. How long did it take you to kind of write the OAuth section?
Stupidly, I've not been tracking my time. I probably should have done so I could give you some better numbers and stuff. But that OAuth section was something that I put off for a long time because it is such a beast. Right, and for a lot of people, OAuth is like this big black box. Basically, they don't know what's going on. So I tried to kind of demystify it, if you will, to try and make it as easy to understand as possible. Like there's diagrams in there, there's breakdowns, but I'm using Saloon by Sam Carre. And again, Sam, I'm really sorry if I just said your last name wrong. But
he doesn't mind. Saloon, he doesn't mind.
And I've broken down like not only how to actually consume an API using OAuth, but how to test it, because I've found that one of the common pain points for people is that they know how to get your access token, they know how to refresh the tokens for that, but then they say, how do I actually test it? Or how do I know it's actually working unless it breaks? So I've tried to really focus on that, and it's taken up quite a thanks, Sam. And it's taken up quite a big chunk of the of that chapter. But
Yeah.
I'm quite proud of it, to be honest with you. It took a lot of work, that, so I'm hoping that people find it useful.
Yeah, I mean, that is nail on the head right there. You know, you could just about figure out access token, refresh token, and managing that token state as you're building.
Yeah.
But then it comes to testing, and it's like, oh my god, do I mock? Do I create a testable? What do I do? Oh my god,
Yeah.
I'm just gonna not test it. So it's gonna be so useful, and especially when you're using Saloon, because I think when you talk about consuming APIs in Laravel, you instantly think Saloon these days.
Yeah.
I've written libraries that do API integrations and help you consume APIs, but then Sam came out with Saloon, and it's just like, it's that package that you wish you built yourself.
100%.
It's incredible. If I'm just gonna use an endpoint, I won't use it. But if I'm hitting more than a couple of endpoints, straight away you need Saloon, get it set up, figure it out, and start using it.
Yeah, 100%.
And I'm just sharing your website here as well, by the way.
Oh, nice one, thank you.
Here we go. There we go. So, build robust and powerful API integrations, and that artwork is fantastic.
Yeah. I mean, I've got to say thank you. That was my wife. That she's done all the artwork for all stuff like that. She's too good to me. So she's really
I
good.
know
So thank you, Jess.
exactly who I need to talk to when I finally get around to writing my book, when I need artwork, right?
Yeah.
So let's talk about the table of contents.
Yep.
How did you decide what needed to go in this book?
I don't want to sound a little bit like cliche when I say this, but I almost want to take the reader on a bit of a journey. I wanted someone to look at it like, I hopefully don't care if you have been a developer for 6 weeks, 6 years, 20 years, something like that. There should hopefully be something in that book which you can start from. So like the About API section, I thought we need to have like a high level overview of everything that's going on. Because there's no point in diving into consuming an API if you don't really know what an API is, or also you might not need to use an API. So I thought it's kind of good to kind of cover like the basics, if you will, get some solid foundations in place. Then I thought for the second chapter, some code techniques, because I found as I was writing some of the later chapters that I was kind of going off on tangents quite a lot, saying, oh, well, we're doing this technique because of this. And because I thought it kind of broke the flow of the book. So I split it into its own individual section. And hopefully everything that's in that section, you can use not only just in API integration, but in other things as well. There should be transferable skills. So hopefully it's worth it just for that.
He's put final classes in there.
I have mentioned it's a bit of a controversial topic.
A controversial topic.
Yeah, my personal opinion, I like them. I personally like final classes. I know there's a lot of people who don't. There's a time and place for them. But I don't want to get my head chopped off for saying the wrong thing. So.
Everywhere and all the time.
Yeah, all the time.
All the time. Everything should be final.
Well, see, this is where I'm not going into it. I don't want to get crucified online. So,
hey, you're selling a book. I'm just a dickhead with a microphone.
Well, you'll have to buy it and find out what my opinion is then.
Exactly. If you want to know Ash's opinion on final classes, you gotta buy the book.
After we've done the core techniques, hopefully I'm hoping that people should have like a nice solid foundation to be able to start moving on to actually building integration. And this is where I think it gets really juicy. Those sections are kind of they're a bit boring, but they're necessary. They're those kind of things you have to know, really. So we actually start getting on to building it, and this is where we start using Saloon. We look at alternative Saloon. I'm not trying to be biased in it. I think Saloon is absolutely amazing, but we just cover the alternatives as well, just to make sure that I'm coming at you from like a kind of a balanced perspective. I'm not going to force you into using Saloon, but all the code examples are using it. We start trying to build out an integration with GitHub, and we're looking at different things. Like there's lots of things like error handling, rate limiting, caching, pagination, all these kinds of things that you're going to come across. It's inevitable you're going to come across them. And we also look at like little oddities of like weird APIs, like ones that might return 200 status code when really it's an error and stuff like that. And we just look at how to handle those kind of weird situations. And then by the end of that chapter, after we've actually written the code to consume the API, that's when we start moving on to testing it, because some people see tests as a bit of a bonus on top of code. I see tests as the code. Like you can't have one without the other. You need to have them. So I find
I am
that,
with you there.
Yeah, I feel like I just, it makes me sleep easier at night just knowing that things work, and also it makes it easy for other people when they come along later in the future. It's like, for all we know, you might get another developer in the team 2 years down the line, and they need to make an update to your integration. They go, what the bloody hell's going on here? So I think it just gives confidence to everyone. After we've done the API integration, we then move on to OAuth, which we've kind of already covered a little bit. It gives you a breakdown of the different flows and grants and stuff. The kind of high-level overviews. There's some diagrams, there's some code examples showing what requests and responses are being sent and stuff. And then we again move on to using Saloon for consuming the OAuth API.
And then one of my favorite chapters,
webhooks. I really enjoyed that. I think this is probably my favorite chapter. I really enjoyed writing about it. And this is the chapter that's also in the free sample as well, which will be available when the book goes live. It's like I said, I want to take the user on a journey, and I almost thought that sending requests and then sending them back was the end of the journey. So the webhooks, we just talk about different kinds of webhooks, webhook security. I've covered something which is about securely handling webhooks, which I think is very different to just handling them, because the amount of projects that I've worked on where it's been an open route from taking Stripe webhooks or something, and they've not checked the fact that it's actually come from Stripe, and you're like, oh god, like there's so many places for like exploits and stuff. So I'm talking about how to actually make sure that the request that's being sent is legit, and then we're going to testing them. And then we kind of covered as well about if we wanted to make some performance improvements, like if we want to start pushing the processing of webhooks onto queues and stuff like that. Not always necessary, but just something that's kind of, I just thought it'd be an extra little bonus information just for people who might be building bigger apps and stuff.
I gave a talk at a user group in Amsterdam about webhooks and Laravel, and a lot of the questions was around how do I verify? How do I do this? How do I make sure that it's coming from the right place? How do I handle, if your application goes under heavy load and you're sending off lots of kind of sales to Stripe, that's great.
Yeah.
You're handling that side of that load.
Yeah.
But then Stripe's got to talk back to you, and how do you handle that? So it's definitely useful.
Yeah, I've just thought I guess not every integration will use webhooks, but I reckon a good 50% of them will, and I think it's just a good skill to know how to work with them, really. So yeah,
100%, couldn't agree with you more.
Yeah.
So the book comes out today in hour and 15 minutes?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, an hour or so. Hopefully, as long as everything goes to plan. I've just got to double check all the emails are working before I send them out. I don't want to send any broken links.
With checklist. And I see you've got a bundle going on here where you can actually get your Battle Ready Laravel book as well, which I don't know if anyone tuning in's read that, but I bought it, I've read it, I loved it. The only downside is I don't have a physical copy. I've only got the digital copy.
I'm writing that down. I'll get one sent to you.
We need. I have to have a digital copy of books. If it's digital, I don't read it. I scroll through it and it's like, taking in the points, right? Okay. Make sure I've saved that on Google Drive or somewhere I can access it if I want it. And then it's like, oh, I've still got that book. I've not properly read it. If it's a physical book, I can't ignore it. It's on my desk or it's on my shelf, and it's like, And he's
It's
finished reading
quite
that.
it's quite a chunky book as well, to be honest with you. It come out at quite a lot of pages. Like I don't know if you can see it properly on camera, but
no.
Yeah, it was. I thought of putting the bundle together because I thought there's not really like I thought both books kind of complement each other. Like,
Yeah, they do.
And I thought it'd be nice to put a bundle together. And if people don't want it, that's cool. You can just buy Consumer Guy's book on its own. But thought I'd make it like available for people if they do want to buy it though.
Yeah. No, it's fantastic. I mean, I think one thing that you got to bear in mind is Battle Ready Laravel is about how you approach refactoring Laravel applications or larger applications, right? And a lot of the time, if you've got a large application, you've got at least one or two API integrations in there.
Yeah.
So
100%.
putting them hand in hand is, you're learning how to refactor the code properly, but then you've got a specific dedicated book about how you can refactor your APIs for better testability, using a better approach using Saloon. That is a fantastic idea. I absolutely love that. And obviously, here you are, Ash Allen, about the author. You're a freelance web dev from the UK, and you spend a lot of time writing. Like, you put me to shame the amount you write, and it's like it's my job to create content, and you put me to shame. I hope my boss isn't watching this.
Hi, if you are.
Please let me keep my job. But no, it's inspirational how much you've put out there.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I think I've just I'm a bit of a weirdo. I think I've just always enjoyed writing since I was a kid, and I just enjoy doing it. I almost find as well that people might think sometimes, oh, you're putting out a lot of blog posts, but what I'm doing is I'm learning about a topic while I'm working, and then it's like a diary, if you will. It might come across that I know what I'm talking about, but I don't. I'm just writing down my findings almost, sort of thing, and I use them as like a reference point to keep going back to, like, in the future and stuff. And just so happens that it also helps me like reach people and stuff, and help people, which is like, everyone loves getting paid. Everyone loves it. Anyone who says that they don't is a liar. But I also get a huge kick out of helping people. And I mean, the Battle Ready Laravel, I think 70 of the copies that have sold, I actually gave away for free, like just to different people I thought were in need of it and stuff. So it's not all about the money, I guess. So.
No, well, I mean, it's helping people's huge. It's why I started doing what I do, and now I just do it full time, which is great. But it's all about having something to share. If you can help 100%. That one person, it's great.
Yeah.
But back to the topic of you being a freelance web developer, what's next? What's next for Ash Allen? Is it a book? Is it client work? What do you want to do?
Well, I'm probably going to disappear off the internet for the next couple of weeks and have a break. Have a bit relaxed. No, I think
spend some time with your wife.
Yeah, my wife and my daughter, because I feel like I've been ignoring them over the past few days because there's been a lot of late nights getting everything ready. So they definitely deserve my time. But I think after that, I'm going to probably take a bit of a break from writing for a couple of weeks. I'll probably get itchy feet and start doing it again anyway, but maybe take on a couple of more like client projects and stuff, because I feel like all I've been doing recently is writing about code rather than writing code. And hopefully you won't see me back in a year's time talking about another book.
We will. It'll be 6 months. I know you, Ash. You're going to write something and it's going to be out in 6 months. We know it. Don't lie. You're going to have a week off. You'll get itchy feet and you'll have a new idea.
I really want to say you're wrong, but
what it might be.
I'll be honest with you. If my wife's watching this now, she's going to kill me. I was already having some ideas this morning for new books while I was in the shower. So,
any teasers? Have you got any teasers? What's coming next? Can you give any teasers? Or
they were just ideas. They were probably. I'll probably I like to plan things out, and I'll probably plan it out and go, nah, there's nothing to this. But if there is anything though, I'll announce it. But I'm hoping I don't, because there's a lot of stuff that goes on behind the scenes for getting the book ready. Like I was very naive when I wrote the first one. Thought it was just a case of, I'll write a PDF and send it out and that's it. But I just want to say, like, a massive, massive thank you to a few people, because without them, it just wouldn't have happened. Like, there's like Sam Carrere, like, first of all, like, huge thank you for Saloon. Like, I mean, half the book is about Saloon. There's JD Lien, and I'm really sorry, JD, if I said your last name wrong, but he has gone through the entire book and got rid of all my stupid typos. And I have a habit of rambling. I'm doing it now, but he's taken it out. He's taken all that stuff out and cleaned it up. There's Jess, my wife. Like, without her, it wouldn't look as nice as it does. She's done everything for me. Even that picture you can see on the page. John Purvis, he has helped me at every single stage along the way. He's been checking everything for me, giving me loads of feedback. He's been saying things. Oh, why don't you add this? I'm going, oh yeah. And Dan Flower, who wrote all the marketing for the webpage, because I can write technical content, but I'm not very good at marketing. That's not my jam. I just can't do it. And also you, Steve, as well. So you've massive.
I've shared. I've shared.
Every single little bit helps, like every single little bit, and I really appreciate everyone's help. And anyone I might have missed by accident, I'm sorry if I've missed you off. I promise I do appreciate all your hard work and stuff. So it's not just me. It was a team project. It's just my name on it. That's all.
What is your process for, like, putting a book together? Because a lot of people I speak to, and myself included, have thought about writing a book. We've started and we're like, I can't be asked now. What is your process? How do you manage it? How do you stay on top of it?
I'm a bit, if you were to ask anyone who knows me on a personal level, they'll say I'm a workaholic, like big time. And I've got like this sort of, I feel like I work best under pressure. Is probably the best term for it. I like people like pushing me and creating accountability. I've worked on side projects in the past and I've got nowhere with them because I've not told anybody. I announced the book before I started writing it. And I did that on purpose so that people keep pestering me. Oh, where is it? So, and I put out the waiting list as well before I started writing it, because I wanted to know if people were actually going to want it. So it seemed to do relatively well. For me, it did well. I don't know in comparison to other authors and stuff, but the waiting list did well. It let me know there's a need for it, and it's just perseverance. It is difficult, especially towards the end. That final 5% or something of the task, it seemed to take longer than actual writing it. And just push on, just keep pushing.
So I think, has anyone watching got any questions that they want to ask Ash? Other than what IGE terminal color are you using?
PHP Storm.
It's always PHP. It's got to be PHP Storm. There's no arguing.
PHP Storm. Yeah.
So if anyone's got questions, drop them in the chat. We'll get Ash to answer them. He's here now. He can't escape. Let's do it. But tell me an interesting fact about yourself, Ash. Other than you are an absolute machine when it comes to writing.
Should we something not even web dev related, just something
random as you get.
I used to be a runner. I used to do cross country in the 1500 meters, and I ran for my county, for Lancashire. And if you were to watch Sky Sports on the day when I was running the national championships, you actually saw me run past the camera. That's my little claim to fame.
Claim to fame. That is amazing. So, got a question come in. Is there a guide on how to start writing APIs?
Steve knows what I'm going to say.
Right? Wrong book there. maybe it'll either be the book I eventually get around to writing, or Ash will get bored of waiting for me to write it and write it himself.
Well, I'm going to create some accountability for you now. So everyone, Steve started writing a book and he never finished it. I read it and it was amazing. It was honestly amazing, and it was. I'd have bought it as it were, but Steve's his own worst enemy and he won't release it. So if you keep pestering him, everyone.
Yeah, I was it like 60 pages, and then I got distracted by something, or had a kid, maybe. Sounds like me. I got distracted or had another kid. Oops.
I can't remember how long it were now, but all I can remember was reading it and going like, "Whoa, like, that's good!" Like I learned so much just through reading through it. I thought I knew about APIs, and it turned out I didn't. So it was really good.
I'll have to see if I've still got that. I will pick it back up. It's probably on GitHub somewhere. If anyone got questions, otherwise, Ash, have you got questions for people? Do you want to ask people something?
You put me on the spot now. I'm not entirely sure. I'll ask people, will you buy my book? Apart from that, apart from that, I'm not too sure.
Ash is really handsome.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Cheers.
Your first stream with me, and you're getting compliments.
I'd like to know. Do you think the stream's going okay? It's the first time I've ever done anything like this, so I'm a bit shaky. I'll be honest with you.
No, it's good. It's a before you come on the stream, you think it's going to be like really nerve-wracking, like an interview almost, but it's just a casual conversation between like-minded people who know each other to various levels and just kind of have a chat about a specific topic. It's like a podcast, but you got your face on it too.
Yeah,
it's the way I see it.
Yeah, no, it's nice. It's nice. It's just very strange when I've never done one before. So,
well, welcome. Maybe you'll get the bug like I did. I fancied doing it because I got bored of doing like user group talks. I was only able to do one a month, and I was like, I love doing them, but I've got more to share than once a month, and I can't travel too far because I've got a family. So what can I do? I'll live stream.
It's a great idea, to be fair, and it's helpful for people. Like the amount of times I've watched your live streams and picked up like little tips and tricks and stuff, they're always really useful. So
even if it's just one little trick, one little trick, then great. I help someone. That's why I do it. So, no questions. Everyone's just waiting for you to publish this book. So I won't go too much longer. Oh, you got a really nice quote from Sam here. This book is a treasure trove of knowledge and practical ways to integrate with third-party APIs. Ash has a brilliant skill of breaking down complex integration methods and RFC specifications into beautiful, readable, and testable code. And of course, Saloon V3 has just been launched.
Yeah. And I don't know if you've seen any of the cool new features. Sam should be incredibly proud of that. He has churned out some amazing stuff in there. Yeah.
You got some good testimonials really here.
The testimonials are from my old book. I've not got new ones yet. So it does say what people said about my old stuff. So
yeah. Having read it, it's great. So it is available as a PDF or EPUB. You'll get both versions. Great.
Yeah.
It's currently not available as a printed copy, but I know for a fact you're working on that one.
Yes, I'm working on that. Probably in a couple of weeks or so.
You do have PPP, which is a purchasing power parity. Great. Yes, you can get an invoice, and yes, you can get in touch if you want to spam him. Here is his email. So this is fantastic. I suppose my only other question is, what are you going to do with your week or two off? What is the plan?
Lots of food, drink lots of beer, play lots of games.
Like it, just completely detox, right? Detox from tech.
Yeah, just switch off from the world. I know straight up that within a couple of days I'll be wanting to write a new blog post, but I'm just gonna have to resist the urge. I'll have a bit of a break.
Yeah. Wave, say hi. It is my wife.
Hello.
I've only ever seen my wife's hand. Occasionally it brings coffee. Yes, please. Oh, great. Get a coffee. So there's no other question other than let's get this thing launched. You've got an hour till it launches.
Yeah.
And
I might even launch it a bit earlier. Depends if I'm feeling a bit. I am very eager to get it out there. I'll be honest with you. I've been thinking about it for the past couple of days. So, but yeah.
I have one question. Which was your favorite chapter to write?
Webhooks. Like
Webhooks.
Yeah, I absolutely love that chapter. I don't know why it just seemed to flow out a lot easier. And I don't know. It's just quite an interesting topic. I think. Just a little bit different to all the others. I think it was probably one of the first chapters I actually wrote as well, because it just felt natural to write it for me at the time. So
yeah.
What
was the hardest to write, other than Oath? Because we all know Oath is always going to be the hardest.
I'd probably say the about API section, because there's a lot of I like writing like guides, step by step tutorials, stuff like that, and it was kind of very technical, theoretical, jargon basically, and you've got to know it, but it was kind of boring to write. No, and I hope that don't put anyone off.
It's also hard to put into words, right? You can explain it, but when you've got to write something about what an API is, that's when it's like, oh my god, how do I explain this?
Yeah, and it's so hard to say one word wrong and completely change the meaning of something as well. Like, you need to make sure that everything is on point, otherwise you can completely throw your readers off. And that was the thing that I found most difficult. Launch live, not a chance.
Wants you to launch live on stream.
Not a chance. Ben. If I do that, something's definitely going to go wrong. You're going to see me panicking on camera. You don't want to see that.
Well, I will leave you to it, and thank you for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
But I wanted to get you on stream and talk about the book, because it's a great book. I've read it.
Thank you.
I loved it that much that I got work to sponsor you for it. Thank you.
Yeah, and I really appreciate that as well. Thank you.
Well, I mean, it's whatever we can do to help you write your next book, right?
Yeah. No. Don't encourage me.
You didn't read the fine print.
Yeah. No, definitely not.
Okay, so any final words before we leave everyone to go wait for you to set the book live so we can buy it?
I just want to say thank you to everyone who supported me along the way. It's been a lot of hard work, and I appreciate every single little small comment of anyone that said anything nice. It honestly means a lot, and it makes it all worth it. So you're all awesome. Thank you.
Wow. Ash, pleasure, mate. Thank you. And
Sweet.
Anyone watching, go check out the book. Going to drop the link back up here. Here's a short link. The actual link was probably a bit too big to fit on the screen, so
sorry.
There's a special short link for you. That'll take you to the book. Go join the waiting list. Go read that sample chapter. It will be worth buying. API integrations, they're hard. Figuring out the right way to do it is difficult. Do I do read the book, find out.
Yeah.
So, Ash, thank you everyone for tuning in, and have a good rest of your day, everyone.
See you later, everyone. Bye.